I'd like to call to order the April meeting of the Cheltenham School District Facilities Committee. I will start with a roll call, beginning with Mrs. Murphy.
Robin Murphy, present. Jenny Lohman, present.
Ross Whiting, present.
Daniel Schultz, present.
Charles Burdell-Williams, present. We were expecting Ms. Henry, I think, virtually, but I'm not sure.
I did reach out to her and let her know that.
No, that there's 5 of
We're
us.
5, we're good. Okay, all righty. So we do have quorum for today, just to confirm with the 5 members present. And is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the March meeting of the Facilities Committee?
So moved. Dan Schultz.
Second, Robin Murphy.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Meetings are passed into the record. We have an agenda item that includes a presentation from our facilities team. Is it going to be Mr. Carter or Mr. Sweigard doing the presentation?
I will do the presentation.
All right, going to pass it over to Mr. Sweigard for the presentation.
Thank you. Mr. Carter, who is joining us tonight, will correct me for any mistakes I made. Bound to happen. All right, so tonight we wanted to focus on 2 parts of the meeting. One, just some of the significant repairs that have gone around the district in the past month. And the second half of the meeting provided an update on the long-range capital plan projects and answer any questions about all of the above. So focusing on some of the things we accomplished last month. First was a repair to the cooling tower at Glenside. Our HVAC service contractor been performing preventative maintenance, and the fan motor on the cooling tower stopped working. So the unit required some significant repair and some significant work to get the fan up and running again. The reason I bring it up is because we've had quite a bit of HVAC repair work around the district this past year. And we talk about year-end financial results for the facilities department. You'll see a lot of Chadwick, you'll see a lot of HVAC work done in the district. All right, also completed the district were repairs to the track at Cedarbrook. As you can see on the picture to the left, the track gets so much use that the wearing portion of the track is worn completely down to the underlayment. So we had an entity come out and patch the track so that our track season would not be impacted and our student athletes at Cedarbrook could compete this year without interruption or without moving to away meets. This repair emphasizes the significant use that the track gets at Cedarbrook. We should be seeing a 6 to 7 year life out of a track because of the amount of use. We were at 5 years and we were already starting to see some of the blue top wear off and wear down to the black underlayment. It is a very popular community attraction. A lot of individuals use it. This repair will get us through this year, but we really need to look at having a more significant repair done to the track. Not necessarily scraping it the whole way down to the asphalt and redoing it, but redoing the top layer. A preliminary estimate of that work is roughly around $100,000 to get that done. So more to come on this, on the track surface. Keeping with the theme of Chadwick and HVAC repairs, we wanted to share a picture of some of the struggles at the high school. Every now and then we have a pipe burst or a joint burst and have a mechanical leak. Fortunately, this one was the whole way down in the basement, so it didn't impact classroom learning, but did result in significant water and significant cleanup and mess in the high school basement. Wanted to share this wonderful picture of the boiler room down in the basement because a lot of maintenance and our maintenance staff have done a good job, Mr. Carter included, maintaining our boiler rooms across the district in our newer buildings in the high school, and you can see the boiler room looks very clean and immaculate. But we are keeping a very old system looking immaculate, so we're going to have these pipe bursts for piping systems that are ordered. And the last project I wanted to highlight was asphalt patching done at the high school. You can see that the asphalt is not in tremendous shape to begin with. This particular area was patched. Based on what the high school parking lot looks like, it looks like a lot of the base coat is holding up as there are a tremendous amount of potholes developing. But the amount of cracking and spalling in the top layer of asphalt would indicate that sometime in the near future we have to think about grinding and repaving the top layer of asphalt. Any questions on those large projects going on across the district?
Any more questions? Ms. Loman?
I just wanted to say thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. At least it's patched for now rather than a big hole. It's not the ideal situation where we want to have it, but it's much better than it was.
So,
Question around the track. Now that we know it's used as much as it's used, is there, for a future repair, are there other materials that might be more robust or higher use contexts that we should consider?
The materials we put down are ideal for track competitions. So you're kind of limited in what we can put down for a track surface. And I feel as if the volume is going to be volume. Whatever you put down, you're going to pay for the life. But if you get a lot of volume, you're not going to get the originally would expect track surface, regardless of what you put down.
Thank you.
So when we were talking about the high school track practice, we had the good, better, best.
Right.
This being a middle school track had the good quality surface, so it's a little bit of a thinner surface, less durable.
I think one thing that we're going to have to consider as a board, and I'm always going to be forthright, is maintenance. The track had been neglected. So it's not just the use, which is part of it. It's the fact that the annual maintenance that should have been happening wasn't happening. One thing that I have spoken to Mr. White about and Mr. Mims, greeted you guys, excuse me, this evening, is that we have a lot of teams, unfortunately, that use that track that aren't permitted for that track. So I do have our EV folks actually checking facility use permits to make sure that those who are out utilizing it are authorized to be out there. So there's a combination of things, but when you see us revisit this, don't be surprised, because it definitely needs to be revisited.
Dr. Whiting?
Thank you. Just one piece of context. Middle schools don't have all-weather tracks. We do. And we have a great track team. They deserve it. I'm glad it's getting a lot of use. What's the horizon for a scrape and repair? Like a year or two to bring it up and then keep it maintained, or what's the kind of?
So if we do $100,000, this is a vendor, this is very back of the napkin type math.
Right, yeah.
If we do $100,000 recoat of the blue surface to get that track back up to 100%, we can probably extend the life another couple of years, 3 to 4 years, at which point scraping that asphalt and replacing is more of a $500,000 plus.
Yeah, okay. So we're looking at extending the life of this in the shorter term, so we get the most use out of it, and then replacing in the medium term.
Yes, trying to be the most cost effective. Yeah.
Right, makes sense. Thank you.
One question that I had, just about the asphalt itself. I know that we did a significant amount of work on the parking lot at the high school last year. And just to revisit the statement that you made with the work that we're seeing potentially, in the works for the driving surface here, would that be similar? And do we control all of that in the sense that that street and all that area that we're looking at here is ours? It's not shared with Panther Road there, which I know was like repaved last year or something over the summer?
So I have not looked into this as a serious project on the near horizon. So I don't know all the answers to those questions about whether it's 100% our road or if there's some sort of easement or shared responsibility. I know we did the seal coating project for the parking lot.
Yes.
That was more of a seal coat rather than permanent fix or permanent repair. honestly, I would have to talk to someone more knowledgeable about asphalt to really answer that. What we should do to extend the life, or if it just is ready for immediate repair in the next couple of years.
Thank you. Any questions from the community on what we discussed so far?
Hi, Tara Knox of the Park. I just wanted to touch on the Cedarbrook track. I know Dr. Scriven brought up the topic I was going to bring up. I know probably 3 programs that use that track, which I don't want to call it illegally, but they wouldn't be able to use another track facility without paying for it the way that they use ours on a daily basis in the evenings and over the summertime. One of them being the Junior Olympic program, and there's another program out of Philly that uses that. They bring their own hurdles and the whole track practice every single day. Which I'm all for kids being able to have space and to get better. And my son runs track, so I'm a big track fan. By all means, have someone to do that. But if we're going to be paying $100,000 or $500,000 to replace this, if they would have to rent that space anywhere else, I don't know why it wouldn't be here. So as opposed to, not opposed that you're gonna have to resurface it, but the way that I know we can lock the high school track because of the fence, is a possibility to put a fence up so that programs cannot just come up there and do that. Because I'm not sure how you can constantly police that unless you have someone out there every evening, and I don't know who else wants to be out there, and I can rather in the summertime, but they're definitely out there every day in the summertime with these programs. It looks like a camp. I know it's not a camp, but the very well organized program is they know when to show up. Parents are out there, the coaches are out there, and they're out there by a certain time in the evening for everything to start. So would fencing be an option to go into this to make sure we can preserve the life so that way our athletes can compete? Or maybe cracking down on actually making sure we have the permit, because it is something that goes on often.
The first option is cracking down right now, because we do want to leave the track accessible for those who should be able to actually benefit from it, right? So we're going to tighten up in terms of just doing those spot checks, because you don't have to do that often before they get the message. I've actually done it myself out there with a team who shouldn't have been out there. It's so funny though, they were at the high school, moved from the high school to the middle school. But I'm aware of some of those programs, and I thank you for sharing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Schultz.
Just to note for anyone who might have been curious, we do have a facilities usage policy, and it does cover track as well, and there are fees associated with use for certain types of organizations. So put that out there.
Yeah, thank you for that context, Mr. Schultz. That was one of the first policy items I think I was a part of approving a revision of when I joined the board a couple of years ago. I knew there was subsets of our community that weren't necessarily happy at the time, but the same exact topic that we're discussing right now, unauthorized degradation of our facilities where we have to invest a significant amount of time, is the reasoning why we have the facilities use policy in and of itself. So we don't allow something to get abused. I'm going to say that word, right? I love utilization, right? I want folks to be able to enjoy it well, and within reason, for sure. Any other questions or comments on what we've seen so far? Okay.
The facilities use paperwork can be found on the district's website underneath the facilities department's webpage, along with all the information on the board policy and schedule of fees.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the long-range capital plan update. So this slide looks familiar. This is the list of approved projects moving forward. I'll just go by one quickly and provide an update. So the high school stadium project, as you know, is scheduled to begin construction on June 1st. We have some contractors already reaching out, see what they can do before that time starts. The plan is to allow contractors to do that so as it permits to not interrupt the school district operations or athletic operations. First kickoff meeting is next week, and we're currently working on completed contracts with all of our vendors. Second project of the high school this summer is Cheltenham High School partial roof replacement. As you know, above Stratton Hall, they were out this week taking drone photos of the high school and of the site as they prep for that project. Next on the list is the Glenside addition to add 6 additional classrooms to Glenside Elementary. The land development process has already been started with the township. We already met with the Shade Tree Commission February 24th and the Planning Commission on March 24th, where we received conditional approvals at both meetings. As we work through the comments provided by the township, we will work towards a final submission and approval by the Board of Commissioners on the 21st, which quickly follows the Public Works meeting. Cheltenham High School HVAC and the admin building projects. I have no update on those from last month. There's been no movement over the past 30 days. And the Cedarbrook addition, we hope to begin that land development process with submitting our plans within the first week of April. To date, the last activity internally has been meeting with our CEA members and our VEC members to discuss the internal fit outs of the addition. It looked like I provided a quick rendering of one of the classroom spaces, and the meetings were to get feedback from teachers. What do you want in the classroom? What do you want the classroom layout to be? Where do you want smart boards? Where do you want dry erase boards? Where do you want bulletin boards? And get as much feedback as possible so we can make these spaces work for our teachers and for our paraeducators. So any questions on the long range capital plan updates?
Go to the board. Any questions from the board on what we've heard? Long range capital plan? Ms. Murphy.
I just want to say, we've got lots of stuff happening, and I'm glad to see that it's moving in the time frame that we anticipate. Thank you.
No, we have a great team, Mr. Carter includes. And yes, we have a lot ahead of us this summer, for sure. Thank you, appreciate it.
Got one question, just regarding the beginning of construction and allowing contractors in, just thinking about managing that so that there's impact to the operations. I know you have a kickoff meeting scheduled, and it's just kind of being, my hope will be that, district is like very much so outlining what the specifics are when folks are there and who their contacts are. Just remembering back what happened with our field last year. I'm just thinking that this is a moment where someone might get really excited and, get jackhammer going or something. I just we'll hope that administration would be able to communicate.
This is more of a formal process where we meet as a team. We include high school administration in that team. We don't want to impact programming at all at the high school. We just want to identify areas where we can get started and ease the timeline from June to August. So of course, from this point on, all
great. Okay. Any questions from the committee on the long range planning? Yes.
Ready to repeat the name? Okay. Tara Knox, Elkins Park. In terms of the high school stadium project, the first question, I guess, would be in terms of the timing. So we're supposed to start breaking ground June the 1st. I guess the biggest, kind of a question to think, the biggest concern from most of the parents, and we've been told this from a few people in the schools, that this will not be done in time for the football season to start, and that a contingency plan is already in place for us to be playing away games. Pretty much the bulk of our football season. So June 1st, football season starts the last week of August. Are we expected to be playing most of our season in the away games while it's being completed, or is it really expected to be done by the time the football season starts, because we've been getting different feedback from different.
So the expectation and the contract with the contractors working the site is it's done before the first week of football season starts.
Okay. And is there something in the contract that they are not going to complete by the first week? How far in advance do they have to let you know so that we can have a plan in place if we do have to move our games?
So, I mean, we track the schedule the whole time, so I think we'll have a pretty good idea if we're not gonna be ready by the end of August.
Okay.
There's a clause in the contract where contractors lose money and are charged per day for every day they're not complete, which they certainly don't wanna, dip into those days, so that's the motivation to get it done. And that should have been reflected in the price of the contract, the tight timeline that was known well in advance by every contractor who bid on the project.
Thank you. And one more question. The football team normally starts their practice, let's say, July. Before then, are we responsible for finding our own field for their preseason practice, or is the field going to be provided for them for their preseason practice?
So I'll have to meet with the coach and talk about where he wants to practice and what makes the most sense. We have fields available.
Okay.
There might be transportation involved if we can't find a suitable field, but we have fields available.
Thank you.
Fine, but check. Okay. All right. There's any additional questions, but thank you for the presentation and also part to the facilities team for continued work, support. Not to overstate what Ms. Murphy said, but we've got a busy couple months coming up here and looking forward to seeing our way through that, what the finished projects look like. All I've got, is there a motion to adjourn the facilities committee?
No move.
Second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.